I also love seeing a woman use so much time and so much money and so much of other people's resources for revenge. You don't often see that because that's expensive. Every moment on set is expensive.
It's a very, well, it was a very expensive, it's basically a group couples therapy with everyone on set. Like everyone's sitting there listening to them work through their shit, and that's a very expensive couples therapy session.
No one there's getting paid enough for that.
No. Welcome back to When Harry Dumped Sally. I'm Tess Menzies.
I'm Natasha Vinnick.
And this is a podcast where we watch a romantic comedy, or in this case, an action comedy.
An action-packed romantic comedy.
Yeah, with romance involved, because there's no rules.
There's no rules. I'm learning so much about romantic comedies, actually.
The only rules is that there is a romantic plot line and that they end up together in the end.
Yeah.
And then we're going to discuss their relationship. Mm-hmm. In this one, it's Ryan Gosling as Colt. Oh, wait. We haven't said what movie it is. The movie is...
The Fall Guy. 2024 film, if you're looking at the title on Wikipedia.
2024 film starring Ryan Gosling as Colt and Emily Blunt as... Jody.
Uh-huh.
So we'll discuss their relationship, how long we think they're going to be together. Do you want to do the log line first, though, off IMDb? It's directed by David Leitch, I think is how you pronounce his name.
All right.
And if not, my bad.
Logline, The Fall Guy. A stuntman fresh off an almost career-ending accident has to track down a missing movie star, solve a conspiracy, and try to win back the love of his life while still doing his day job.
Wow, classic love story.
Classic love story. We all know it. We've all been there.
Yeah. Let's just get to it. We're going to count down and say how long we think these two are going to be together.
Give me a minute. I need to think about it.
And then we'll jump into
I have kind
going
of like
through the plot.
I have a complex answer.
Well, let's say how we feel about the movie first, and you can also think while you talk, right?
Yeah, I can do both. I'm just like you. I can do both.
My opinion of this movie is that it's very long, and that's what I think, that it was like objectively a good movie, and I can see why people like this movie. And I was watching it like, wow, I'm really not enjoying this good movie. But my disclaimer is I really can't. I don't think I'm capable of watching action movies. I don't think my brain understands what's happening. I spent most of this movie confused, and I'm truly not positive what the plot was.
Even though I just told you it? Even though I just...
It really, I know there's a stuntman in it.
And that's really all you need to know, actually. And he's the guy from Barbie.
Yes. I will also say this movie has like two of my main celebrity crushes in it. So that was positive. I enjoyed that.
Emily Blunt and...
No, not Emily Blunt.
What?
Sorry.
Wow.
I was going to say...
Jason Momoa?
No.
I'm so confused.
You know I love Ryan Gosling. We differ on this.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I love Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling and Hannah Waddingham.
Oh, she's amazing.
And
she's a bad guy.
With her. She's gorgeous. So her and Ryan Gosling, I'll always love Ryan Gosling in a movie. I'll always love a movie with him in it because I can just look at him and be like, I don't understand what the plot is, but I think he's great. And I think he's funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him in this.
And I'm all about vibes when it comes to men.
You have to be. What else is there to go on?
I don't know. He's got a nice face, though, but we've discussed this. We don't agree on here.
Yeah. He's not bad looking.
Yeah.
Eyes are just like a little too close together for me.
Yeah, you've got an eye thing.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I agree. This film is way too long.
Too long.
Way too long. But boy, did I have a good time.
Yeah, great
I had a good
music.
time. The music was great. The writing was funny. All the dumb meta stuff was pretty cute.
Yeah, I loved all the meta stuff.
It was beautifully done. Like
lots of explosions.
I generally don't like action, but like there was like some nice funny stuff in the action, and there were funny references in the action. And I had a good time. I had a better time than I thought I would.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
And I love Emily Blunt.
Also, we have both kind of seen this movie before.
Yes, you go ahead.
So I have been present in the room while this movie has played before, but my partner was watching it actively and I was on my phone.
Yeah.
So I knew the general plot lines, and then you've halfway seen it.
Well, that's generous. I was present on a plane while the movie was playing on a neighboring person's little television. It must have been the middle third of the movie because that's what I recognized here. And I did not know what was going on, but I couldn't stop watching it.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And also watching a person's movie on an airplane is one of the best ways to view a movie because you kind of, I don't know why it's so entrancing. It's like you have nothing else to do maybe. And so you just...
But like you can't be bothered to switch it onto your TV.
No.
It's so much more fun when it's someone else's.
It's kind of like... Have you ever gone to a drive-through theater and you have like, or a drive-in movie theater, and then you've never gone to a drive-in movie theater? Just
Those don't exist. They're not real.
They do.
They're made up.
Okay.
They're made up. Just like you think external hard drives are made up.
They're I would say equally in existence, and maybe one of them is more common than the other.
Yeah.
And maybe that one is the thing you believe in, but I believe in drive-in movie theaters.
Okay, we're different.
They exist some places.
Yeah, I have an external hard drive right there.
I don't know. It's a magic box. It's a box full of mysteries, and I'll never understand how it works.
Okay.
It's like a TARDIS, and
Yes.
I think it traps things in it, and they just never come out. And
That's the one part where you're wrong. You're right about all of it, except for that they can come out. Okay, so sorry. How is it like
Anyway.
a drive-in?
You can go to a drive-in movie theater and you're seeing the movie that you're supposed to see, but sometimes you can see one of the other screens.
They play multiple different movies at fake drive-in theaters.
Yeah, so you can be watching yours and then see the other screen, and so
pretty
that's kind of
cool.
fun. Like you
It's
can be
like a
watching
multiplex.
Exactly.
But
So you're
outside.
only hearing your movie,
But
but
you watch the other.
you can watch the other ones.
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I experienced on this plane.
Yeah, it's like a drive. This is what I'm saying. Thank you.
I think you like feel like you're being bad a little bit.
Yeah, when you...
Because you're kind of like, if they saw me looking, I would turn around.
Yeah.
Is it because I'm like being a creep? Is it you're being a little creepy and that's kind of fun?
The last time I was watching somebody's playing movies, they were watching a lot of movies with sex in it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sex happening on that screen. I don't know what movie it was, but I felt like every time I looked over, someone was naked. And I was like, I'm shocked that this movie is on an airplane.
I just think that's so bold and brave. If something like scandalous happens on my movie screen on a plane, I'm so embarrassed.
I know.
No one's looking at me and thinking that I like sex.
No, no, not us.
Yeah, gross.
Not in a plane.
Not in
If we
Wade,
go
not in
into a
box.
plane, we all become just sexless creatures. I do feel like when you're on a plane, you just exist in a different world.
Yes.
Like
We're
you're
in
like
fake land where we
we're
can
in
watch
the
each other's
sky,
screens.
and like everybody is just sort of like, I don't know. It just feels like you've gone into a different universe and you become a different person where you're just like, well, I'm resigned to this seat
Yes.
and whatever movies they've given me and that person's movie.
Yes. Yes. This is your new life now. And this person next to you, hope you never have to talk to them, but they're going to be very close to you.
They're going to be very close. Maybe your knees will touch, and hopefully one of you isn't watching sex while that happens.
Nope. Because that would be too romantic.
And then you have a rom-com,
Yes.
and I'm sure that exists, and we might watch it at some
If
point.
you end up together at the end.
Yeah, otherwise, no.
Otherwise, you're just the Notebook, baby.
Yeah. Which you like? No, they end up together in the end. They just
I thought you said
die.
they did it. Oh, they do. Yeah. Okay. I've never. Okay.
It's like you don't even listen to me.
I do. I just retain for such short periods.
Also,
It's like a
Ryan
sieve.
Gosling in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel McAdams.
Yes.
So a hot cast,
Hot
which is
cast.
always helpful, especially in a romantic movie. Although, you know what? Ugly people deserve love too. So
I've always said that.
you've always said
I've
that.
always said that.
That's so brave of you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. What the hell are we talking about here?
Okay, do we want to talk about this movie, The Fall Guy? I don't honestly have a lot to say because I don't know what happened in this movie.
Okay. Yes.
I really paid attention to. It's gonna seem like I didn't, but I really tried. All right, let's see how long we think these two stay together.
I don't want to do 1, 2, 3 because I have a longer answer than a. You want me to have a number?
We can say both of our long answers at the same time.
Okay.
You just keep talking, and I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. It's gotta be a surprise. Are
Okay.
you ready?
Yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3. 2
They
years.
can handle a year as long as they keep working, but if they don't keep working, they'll break up a lot sooner.
Yeah.
I think they could stay together a while if they're working on the same sets together for a long, long time. But if not, they are fucked.
I agree with that, and that's why I went with 2 years, but I think
2 years. As long as they're working together.
as long as they're working together, and they might be able to handle like 6 months off a project, but I don't know that this relationship gives like outside of work.
Nope.
They do love spicy margaritas, which is a
Yes.
great bond, but I think the
And they
only
love a
bond
beach in theory.
Yes, they do discuss beaches. But so far throughout this movie, the only thing bonding them is they work together and they like spicy margaritas, which same
And one of them could be lying.
about the spicy margaritas.
Yeah, my dad lied and told his ex-girlfriend that he liked sushi to get to go on a date with her and have sushi. He didn't like sushi.
But how long did they stay together? How long did he keep this ruse up? And he pretended to like sushi for 10 years? Okay. I was like, this doesn't tell him. This doesn't seem like. Didn't he leave when you were 10? Is 10 his long enough time to pretend he likes something?
Yeah, he pretended he liked me for 10 whole years. It was about the hearing test.
That's how divorce works. We
the kid's
always
fault.
blame the children. So the Fall Guy.
Yes, as long as I think they can't. Okay, the thing is, when this movie starts, theoretically they've been dating for a period of time, and they never tell us how long that period of time has been.
They never
It's
tell
giving
us
3
that.
months max.
And I was okay. This is what I was trying to figure out. I was like, how long have they been together? At one point, I felt like they made it sound like it had been a year, but then I was like, what the hell project is lasting a year unless they're constantly working on the same projects together?
I don't think there's anywhere that said they were together a year.
That totally makes sense as well, because again, I don't know what happened to this movie.
The timeline I understand.
Uh-huh.
They were together for a mystery period of time, which I'm naming no more than 3 months, but I don't know.
Okay.
And then he falls,
Yes.
and then we see them again 18 months later. So a year and 6 months later, which means after the fall, they only had 6 months together. And it sounds like that was pretty tumultuous.
Right.
And then it's been a year since then.
Okay. Maybe that's where I got a year from. So it's like, yeah.
It's the year of no talking they had.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I feel like they probably only worked on one project together.
Yep.
But I couldn't tell if, I was like, because one thing that I didn't really understand if she was like an assistant director or like probably not a production assistant, but like what exactly her job was.
She was camera lady.
She was just camera lady in
She was
first.
just camera lady.
Okay, got it.
This is a big deal for her. She's director.
So I was wondering if she works for Gail's production company or if she is frequently hired by her production company, and if Ryan Gosling is also frequently hired. Like if they both work with the same production company, they could theoretically have worked on multiple projects and may do that in the future. Although they probably won't in the future because of how she is arrested now, I assume. Gail,
yeah.
yeah.
Should we go through the movie?
Let's just go through the movie.
I'll tell you why I think it hasn't been that long, too.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. First, we're going through the plot. Working as the stunt double for action star Tom Ryder, Hollywood stunt performer Colt Seavers breaks his back during a stunt gone wrong and abandons his career and his girlfriend. Camera woman, there we go.
I watch and listen.
Jody Moreno. Wow. Already off to a bad start for me.
Okay. So I have notes about this because this is when we see them before everything goes bad.
Yes.
Do you have notes on this? Would you like to discuss
I
this?
said I also love spicy margaritas.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think it's pretty yucky how they're flirting on set in front of everyone. I don't know why they need to do that. I didn't like that.
Okay, so I did have, I said this, can other people hear this conversation via walkie-talkie? But then I was also like, well, they're just flirting around everyone. But then I also do feel like that is a weird thing on set where like everyone is on top of each other and you can be having a conversation with someone and it does just feel like you're having a conversation,
business.
but like somebody is doing your makeup or like somebody is like people are doing shit, but you're still flirting is maybe taking that a step further.
Yeah.
But I could see if you were super comfortable on that set, maybe doing that. But I agree. I did write this note as well.
But this is just like a workplace comedy. You know what I mean? Like they're just at work and works hot.
I love fucking a coworker. I'll say it now. I support a workplace relationship.
Right.
I support this. They don't always last.
No, that's my experience. They don't always last. Yeah. Okay, that's
it.
That's it. I did say what I appreciate about stunt people. Stunt men.
And women.
And women. He's kind of like you know how like behind every great man is a great woman?
Yeah.
He's like the great woman.
Yeah.
And I like that.
I also wrote being a stunt person would be crazy.
You're right. You're so right.
Good notes. I had a lot of really big thoughts about this. No, I thought that was also cool to see. It's not a person that gets attention frequently, and I liked at the end credits they showed like Ryan Gosling's stunt people throughout it. It looks very painful. It's not a job I would be interested in at all.
The other TV show that's talked about it quite a bit is Only Murders in the Building.
Oh,
They have some big stunt people plots.
Love that.
Yeah, I love that. Stunt people getting there.
I've never watched that, and I know I should.
I don't know. Follow your truth.
Thank you.
Yeah. 18 months later. Oh, sorry, I don't have to read it like that. 18 months later.
Do it.
18 months later, Colt, now a valet for a small Mexican restaurant, is contacted by... Oh, wait, I want to pause.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because I have more.
About the Mexican restaurant? Do they have spicy margaritas?
This guy breaks his back.
Yeah.
Which is bad.
Okay, this is also really bad. It's bad to break your back.
Bad. I just feel like men often think they're so invincible that they can be real babies when they're injured. I'm not saying his injury isn't a bad injury because he broke his back.
Little bitch.
But it seems like this is the first time he's been severely injured. And because of that, he like can't handle being nice to her or like can't handle any of that. And it's just so unfair.
Well, and this is why it seems like they can't possibly have been together for very long before this.
Yeah, because nothing hard's happened, I guess.
And honestly, this is making me kind of reduce the amount. For some reason, I had a year in my head that they'd been together, and I agree with you, it was not that long. So I think 2 years is probably way too generous.
Yes.
Because they really don't have much other than a workplace flirtation, and they work in a place that changes.
And their
constantly.
memory montage, like all their time together, is like 3 shots of 3 different times in the workplace.
Yeah. It wasn't,
I did think they were cute together, though.
Oh, I love them together. I want to be clear. I enjoy them together so much.
Was a big fan. But also, yeah, him bouncing just because, but also him bouncing because he was like, oh, I'm so insecure about the fact that I got hurt or, you know, whatever things he has to work through. I feel like also it's like they tried to make it work for 6 months, but they weren't on set together.
Yeah.
That was
They don't
probably
work if
a
they're not on set
big
together either.
part.
But also, he's a big baby and he doesn't know who he is without being a strong man. And I'm just
Yes.
so yucky.
He's made his job his entire personality.
Like, I'm sure he wasn't in therapy after this back thing, and he should have been in therapy.
This is
just
always the case. They all need to be in therapy.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. We could go back.
Okay. He's a valet for a Mexican restaurant.
Go ahead. She tells him that Jody is directing her first film, a space opera film titled Metal Storm, starring Tom, and that she wants Colt to join the production in Sydney. After arriving on set, Colt learns that Jody never asked for him and is still angry about their breakup, with the film being a less than subtle attempt at airing her grievances at Colt.
Yeah, I had a big question about this. She's like going through the plot of the movie, and it's the plot of their relationship, and I'm like, did you write this movie also?
It seems like she's the writer-director.
Yeah.
She's writing it too.
That is crazy just from a production standpoint.
Camera person
To go from camera person to writer, director. Good for her. I'm happy.
More women in STEM.
Yeah. That's we definitely call these jobs STEM.
Okay, I have a lot of complaints about him deciding he's gonna go, and this is an issue I have through the whole film. Why can't he just call her? Why can't he just call her?
Sure.
He wants to talk to her so bad. Why can't he just call her? Like he wants to go 'cause she's a director, but he couldn't even call her anywhere on the way to it, like in that past year. And he's like, well, I'll just see her in person. Like, it's just such a...
Yeah. I also had... Okay. I agree about how he should have just texted her.
Yeah.
Like, then he wants to get back together with her by being in this movie.
Yes.
Even though he literally just broke his back. That was my other thing. I was like, are you supposed to do stunts a year and a half after breaking your back? He falls on his back so many times. I'm like, I can't imagine that was good for you.
Yeah.
And then I said he could just text her. And I don't know, like she's probably not going to take you back, but you could shoot your shot and be like, hey, I really fucked up.
He could just be nice and thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yeah. They see each other. I don't know if we're at the part where they see each other yet. Oh, I love that we just get to watch her abuse him for a while.
Yeah.
That really brought me pleasure. And it made me like their relationship, where she just makes him do the same stunt where he's on fire over and over and over again, and like makes him in front of the whole crew, like be like he did something wrong.
That's romantic for you, is humiliation.
Yeah, it made me really love her and go, I could see the relationship working. Like,
you were like, this is forever.
Yeah.
Light him on fire.
Yeah, because she's like a powerful woman who's like willing to do whatever, and he's willing to take it. And I'm like, that's a nice relationship. I want to see more of that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. This movie, it had one of my favorite, this is kind of backing up a little bit, introducing the character Dan, who is the stunt coordinator. It's one of my favorite, and I actually like it. I'm not shitting on this writing hack, but it's one of my favorite writing hacks, where Ryan Gosling walks up to him and he's like, Dan, big time Hollywood stunt coordinator. And that's like how he introduced.
I love that.
I was like, yeah, just get out who the hell this man is. Let's do it in one sentence. There we go.
That's so funny. I want to see a film with that every time for every
character should be introduced that way. And also tell me how long they were together.
Yeah.
Spell out what the fuck is going on in this movie.
Lover, I've been with 3 years.
That's how I want every character introduced.
It was so interesting seeing her like just like making him go through hell over and over and over again. She was almost like a male director. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So close
Women
to a
in male fields. We love to see it.
We never found out what sushi train meant.
Okay, I wrote this down because you looked at me and were like, what?
Yeah.
She says that she was basically fucking hella dudes after he left. She's like trying to make him feel bad.
A lot of people went down on her. Is it a fish thing?
I assumed that what this meant is there's those sushi train restaurants where the plates are going around and you can just grab whatever you want off the conveyor belt. And she was just like, I can take whatever I want. Like it was my choice, and I had every person I want.
Do people use that?
As a metaphor?
As a phrase, yeah, I like that.
This is how I interpreted it, because my first thought was also, I was like, is this a weird, like, fishy vagina joke? Yeah. And I don't love that. No. But I think that's what it was, because that's a thing that exists.
Yeah. I also love seeing a woman use so much time and so much money and so much of other people's resources for revenge. You don't often see that, because that's expensive. Every moment on set is expensive.
It's a very expensive. It's basically a group couples therapy with everyone on set. Yes. Like everyone's sitting there listening to them work through their shit, and that's a very expensive couples therapy session.
No one there's getting paid enough for that.
No. And then I was like, there are people who bring their shit into the workplace, and this is why workplace relationships are frowned upon.
Yes.
Because people do crazy shit, like they waste millions of dollars just to work.
I was so confused. The implication was that everyone on set was like wrapped with like what's going to happen with them as a couple in this conversation. I'm like, were you guys on all the last films too? Like, why?
Well, this is why I think it might be a thing where they're all frequently hired. I think crew wise that does make sense.
Okay.
I don't think it's totally unreasonable that these people would have worked together in the past.
Yeah.
But who even knows what's happening in this movie in general?
I mean, I do, and I like it. There's something
I think that we're going to find out. I actually did. I liked this movie. I think it was a good movie. I think it just isn't. I'm not good with action.
Yeah, that's fair.
My brain just goes blank.
I enjoyed that he listened. He went into a car listening all too well.
Oh yes,
in a car.
So I did love that.
I loved it, and I loved it.
I was also thinking I've noticed more Taylor popping up in movies, and I think it's because she finally owns her masters on a lot of albums.
And so she's like putting.
And I was like, hell yeah, girl.
I love that.
Gail reveals that Tom has disappeared after getting into trouble with very bad people, and she wants Colt to find him before his absence causes the already over-budget film's cancellation. It's over-budget because they're wasting fucking
explosives too.
Not wanting Jody's directorial debut ruined, Colt agrees. He first goes to Tom's apartment where he meets Tom's girlfriend and co-star Iggy. She gives Colt a lead, so he visits a nightclub where he meets drug dealer Dune, who tricks Colt into drinking a cocktail laced with a hallucinogen. After getting into a fight with Dune's henchman, Colt visits Tom's hotel where he finds a dead body in a bathtub full of ice. When Colt returns to the police, the body has disappeared. So, like, Gail reveals all this. I guess, actually, no, my question that I wrote down actually got answered later in the film.
Yeah.
Wow, it's crazy.
The way films do that.
The way films do that.
They plan to
all
see
right.
it, and it all makes sense in the end.
Oh. All right. We won't. Oh, during the All Too Well 10-minute version, when they were talking in the car, Emily Blunt's character had good advice where she was talking about them not working, and she was like, you should just be you. And I was like, that's very solid advice, and that's probably why they're not going to work out.
Why?
Well, I guess maybe it's why they could work out, because if they're just being themselves, then they get along well together. But they're just a workplace situation.
They're in work or some kind of like high fun, like it's a whole system that's made and that's kind of like fun and active for them.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do without that.
Anyway, I thought You Should Just Be You was good relationship advice in this movie.
Beautiful relationship advice.
Yeah.
Great movie. Yeah, somewhere I did write, sorry, I like them together. Because I do. I like them together.
No, I like them together a lot.
Yeah.
I was confused by him breaking into the apartment the apartment was in Australia. I was like, does this guy live in? I was just
They're
confused.
shooting in Australia.
And he has an apartment in Australia?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Maybe he does. Great, good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
My other and then I'm going into the drug stuff. Did you have anything with the Colt bad people things?
It's also like, wow, he's immediately climbing a whole thing again. That's crazy that he just immediately starts climbing.
Yeah.
Not even for money. You know?
He's really brings his work home with him.
Yeah. And I think I just feel bad for Emily Blunt that like this whole fling is like rekindling her like first big directing opportunity.
He's
so annoying.
He's kind of, yeah.
It's almost not his fault, but he is potentially unraveling things.
He is.
Yeah.
But also mostly Gail and Tom.
Yep.
Okay. He takes this drug. It kicks in literally right away. I want to know what this drug is that he takes.
One sip and kicked in.
One sip and he's rolling, it seems, but also it's with unicorn hallucinations. Although I did love that scene. I was like, this drug looks fun. I really liked the line that the drug dealer had where he was like, I watched Dumbo as a kid and I saw him drink that champagne and have all the hallucinations. And he was like, that made me think, I want to try that someday. And I was like, I remember being a kid and thinking that when I watched it. I was like, okay.
Interesting.
I was like, so drugs are fun.
That was for me when Dare came to our school and they told us all about the drugs. And I'm like, cocaine sounds like it makes you awake. I don't get it. Alcohol makes you sleepy. I don't get it. And like, LSD makes you see crazy stuff. That's cool.
I feel like all of the videos they showed I remember specifically, and I don't know if it was like, maybe it was MDMA, but maybe it was acid or something like that. And I remember the video that they showed us, it was like all these crazy like carnival things and everything was like wacky. And I was like, this drug kind of looks fun.
They should have used like a delightful carnival that kids go to make it scary.
I was like, all right, I might try that.
That's funny.
But I don't know. I just want to know what this drug was.
Yeah. I feel like he was drugged and they thought he couldn't fight, but somehow he could fight better than he could ever. He's like one of those guys who's like gets stoned and they're like, I drive better high, except he like fights better, really fucked up.
I feel like when people say that, I'm like, no, you don't.
I agree. But this guy fights better.
Yeah.
Really fucked up.
At least that we know. It would have been fun to see like from the outside.
Yeah. That's why he's an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
But as far as I can tell, we're supposed to believe almost everything he sees, except for a unicorn.
Maybe the unicorn's really there.
Yeah, it's true. I also like that he just always keeps his mouth guard with him. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
always has his
He's
mouth
got to have it on him because he knows he's going to constantly be getting into shenanigans like this.
I was thinking, are we at the part where he runs into her in the hotel while he's on drugs? Or no?
Yeah.
What a nightmare to see your ex when you are on drugs.
Oh, yeah. Is this something that's happened to you?
No,
Yeah, me neither.
but I'd be worried about me acting weird.
I don't want to run into my ex, period.
No.
Like, I don't want to run into my ex sober.
Nope.
So,
But I guess he's in love with her and excited to see her and whatever.
yeah, that was cute. I thought it was kind of a cute moment.
They're cute together.
Yeah.
Together. I want them together.
I also, okay, so her sushi train metaphor
Yes.
we liked
Yes.
once we figured it out.
Yes.
But then she had this metaphor where she was like talking about how the alien and the space cowboy, they're too different. They can't be together. She was like, I guess it's like how it's just like a director and a stunt person. And I was like, I don't know that this metaphor makes any sense to me at all.
It doesn't. It's so silly.
I was like, you got like really cocky with that sushi train metaphor,
Yes.
and now you need to chill it out.
Wild. Like, I'm just trying more metaphors if it work. They love sushi train. Yeah, well, he also said that the problem seemed to be that one's an alien and one's not. And I'm just like, that's not the problem. The problem is he just didn't talk to her for a while.
Right. The problem is a lack of communication.
Yeah, like, and yeah, it really annoyed me. And it annoyed me again that he never talked to her before this.
Yeah.
What happens when the next problem comes up? I'm not convinced they can handle a problem.
No, they can't. They are fully just a workplace
Yes.
situationship kind
That's what I
of
wrote. Have they ever
couple.
had romance not at work? I don't think so. As the production of Metal Storm continues, Colt and Jody begin to rekindle their relationship until Gale abruptly informs him that he must return to the United States. Instead, he continues looking for Tom by tracking down his personal assistant, Alma Milan. She hands him Tom's phone, which Tom and Gale had been searching for, before they are both attacked by Tom's head of security, Dressler, and his team, who are looking for the phone.
See, this is like, you've already lost me. This is where I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening in this movie.
Yeah, all the bad guys, all the
Yeah.
bad guys. I couldn't tell who they were working for and what their goal was. Until
don't.
the end, I'm like, these are all Tom's guys, I guess, but why does he have security that's better than the president has? It's so weird.
Sorry, you can keep going. I just already am just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Colt and Alma defeat them after an extended chase through Sydney involving a rubbish truck.
That was a good chase.
The dog. There's a dog.
Oh, yeah, there
Plays
is a dog.
dogs. He and his longtime friend Dan Tucker, the stunt coordinator on Metal Storm, unlock the phone and discover a video of an intoxicated Tom accidentally killing his most recent stunt double, Henry Herrera, the man in the bathtub, while sparring at a party. The henchmen attack Colt and Dan, destroying the phone with shotgun pellets.
Yes. A lot happened.
Yes.
There was a dog, and I think there's a dog in karaoke, which were the two main takeaways for me, and I liked the garbage truck scene.
Oh, great time.
The rest of it couldn't tell you what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, I think with action scenes, it generally does bore me too, because it's the same thing they teach you in improv, where you're having a fight, someone's gonna win. Let's just get there and see what happens next.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I know that some people like it, and that's great. I'm glad
movie, I
people
thought it
like
was done
other
well.
things.
I thought there was some fun stuff.
There were.
Yes.
Dog also does French commands.
It only speaks French.
which is fun.
We love that for a dog. Cultured.
I had an opinion about, my two notes for this section of the movie were, I don't think I'm capable of following action movies and karaoke during the day.
Yeah. Daytime karaoke was an odd choice. Yeah. Maybe they've been working all night. I don't know. I agree. Karaoke during the day is
It's
weird.
been a day shoot. It's been day.
Does the sun last too long in Australia? Is it one of those places where the sun stays out for too long? You know how there are places like that?
It probably does that from time to time.
That's no excuse.
I don't think they have no excuse for a karaoke. That is a nighttime event. It needs to be dark.
I agree. You're right. That was messed up. Here's another point where I was angry.
Mm-hmm.
Just text her. Tell her you're going to be late to karaoke. Text her that you're not going to go to karaoke. At this point, you can't risk disappointing her. You already were in trouble. Why would you not just give her a heads up? It's so stupid, and that makes me angry.
I don't think we ever see him hold his own phone. I don't know if he even has one.
I have in all caps, there we go, finally. I got to call Jody. Now he can use his phone. This is later, but I'm annoyed that it took so fucking long. It's in all caps. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. So he does have a phone.
When he's on the boat running away, giving her this whole speech, that's when he calls her.
Oh, right.
He could have called her so many times before that.
Yeah. He was just so caught in the moment of fighting.
Yes. Because that's when they are all engaged, is when they have
and that's because this is what, his life really is. It's not about settling down.
Nope. It's about getting beat up real good.
Yeah. They probably have fun sex.
They must have very interesting sex.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I bet she beats him up real good.
I hope so.
For sure. You can tell. And she can fight. We see her.
Okay.
Fight.
When she has that fight scene, I wrote, we'll get there, but I was like, how and when and how does she know how to fight so well? I guess Girlie's taking a self-defense class or martial arts or something.
Maybe that was part of their...
That's part of every camera woman's training.
What I said was... Maybe he taught her as part of their brief relationship.
Oh,
maybe?
as foreplay.
Yeah.
Because he needed her to beat him up good.
He needs
And
it.
he was like, I need to show you how to do this because otherwise I cannot get hard.
Yep. Okay. I don't know where we are in the movie.
All right, I'll jump to the next part. My notes are pretty slim after this because it lost me pretty around now.
Oh, I wrote, I don't get who is trying to kill him.
Yeah.
So, yep.
All right. Dan escapes, but Colt is captured and brought face to face with Tom, who has been hiding out on a yacht on Gail's instructions. He reveals that Gail is framing Colt for the crime using deepfake technology to replace Tom's face with Colt's on the incriminating video that he orchestrated Colt's accident because he felt that Colt was stealing the spotlight from him. I just feel like this Tom guy sucks, so whatever. I guess he's supposed to. Bad guys are supposed to suck.
He's supposed to suck. Yes.
Henry's body is discovered and the doctored video is released to news media while Gail tries to convince Jody that Colt is guilty. Colt escapes and is presumed dead after a boat chase ends in an explosion, but Colt survives and swims to safety. I mean, this is when everything, I guess their evil plan was explained, so that was good.
Yep.
I don't know.
I'm just annoyed that this is when everything's gone the most to shit, and that's when he calls her.
Oh, I like how meta this movie is. I liked the split screen scene between them.
Yeah,
I thought that was cute.
that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun, but that was like way earlier.
I think he was on the phone with her. Oh, it was earlier.
Yeah, that
this
was
is
on
the
drugs.
first time that it was on drugs? I don't think it was on drugs.
He was in that weird apartment looking at stuff. He was in that weird hotel room looking at stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
This time he just calls her and she's in front of like a karaoke, or she's in front of her own movie.
oh, yeah.
And he's going like, oh, I realized why I was so weird and I'm so sorry. I'm like, why can't you realize that already? Why did it take you so fucking long to know why you were being a
Go
big baby?
to therapy.
I hate it.
Everyone, that's always going to be the advice, though.
He like just realized then. He was like, wow, I wasn't okay after my stunt. And it's like, yeah, we all know you couldn't
You
have been okay.
broke your back.
Jesus.
And also, you guys only like each other as coworkers.
that's
and
it.
that's fine.
Yes.
You gotta have a little, like, flirt at work.
Yes.
I think it's actually
keeps it fun.
essential
Otherwise,
to
why would you
get
go to
through. Oh my God, I would quit.
Money. It's not enough money.
It's not worth it if you don't have someone to flirt with.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't go to work.
That's why you don't go to work, and that's why I am dating a former coworker.
The next day, Tom arrives at the Metal Storm set and production continues. Colt secretly returns to the set and convinces Jody of his innocence. Together, they trick Tom into participating in a stunt sequence and confessing while he is wired with a lav mic while the rest of the stunt team, led by Dan, hold off Tom's bodyguards. Gail steals the recording at gunpoint and tries to escape in a helicopter with Tom, but Jody helps Colt leap onto the helicopter in midair. He retrieves the recording and falls onto a crash mat prepared by Dan while the helicopter crashes with Gail and Tom in it.
This is where I wrote, why is she so ready to attack this alien person?
Yep. I loved that. I loved that she was so ready, though. I found that so fun.
You know, stunts, helicopters is dangerous. I don't know. That's what I have to say about this.
Stunts dangerous?
Yeah. Stunts, danger. That's it. It was. This is when the movie wrapped up, and I was like, okay. I was also like, can this movie please end?
It was really
Please.
long. It was really long, and at the end, they really kept milking the action. You know?
Right, and I understand it is an action comedy, and I genuinely am like, I don't want this to sound like a criticism of the movie. It's me.
Yeah.
It's not the movie, it's me.
What I liked about all the action at the end is they had my favorite kind of scene which has been in 2 films that I like. One is Spice World, and one is the movie that I call Bus, but it's actually called Speed, but it's all set in a bus.
Okay,
So I
yeah.
call it Bus, where bus or car has to go over a thing and then land on the other side of thing. I love it. I love when they
Yeah.
do that. It's so fun.
That was great. I love stunts are cool and fun. And
Yep.
sometimes they go on for too long.
Yes.
And you're like, okay.
And that's it. They're ending. They
Metal-
end. They're just doing donuts in a lot. They're just doing donuts again in a car in the lot. When they see each other again, that's all they do. They're just doing
That's all they do.
and it's a metaphor for their relationship. They're just going around in circles, keeping it stimulated. But if it's not, they are fucked.
Yes. And the way it ended was, I guess, the final Metal Storms trailer premieres at San Diego Comic-Con with Jason Momoa being made the new lead. Do you think they had to reshoot just his scenes or the entire movie?
I imagine they shot just his scenes. I was hoping they'd do a callback to the deep fakes where it'd be clearly his face, but the old guy's body. But I didn't see that happening.
No. Being made the new lead and Alma the film's new producer, the film eventually becomes a box office hit. Colt is exonerated and he and Jody get back together. So yeah, that's how it ends. And I think we both agree basically that they are only going to stay together as long as they
Have work?
have work.
Yeah, I wonder how well they would do if they had work even that was separate. Like if they just saw each other at the end of the day every day. I don't know even what that would look like.
No, I think that they are a workplace situationship.
Yeah.
The 2-year thing that I came up with initially, I think I was imagining that they like move in together because I'm that kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I would
respect
do
the hell
that
out of
right
that.
away.
Yes, I like that.
And I think that they would last for a bit that way because then you see each other every day.
Yeah.
But I feel like my thought process around that is she's about to be a big time director. She's going to be very busy.
Yep.
And unless he's the stunt guy on all of her sets, they're just not going to see each other that much. And I think that it's just not going to work out.
It's not
in
going to
the
work
end.
out. It can't work out. It's just not realistic.
Yeah.
He can't be the stuntman for every movie she makes.
And he can't be a stuntman forever either. I'm like, that's not a long-term job, I don't think.
Nope.
Seems like your body gets a little fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like being an athlete. Like you have, that job has an expiration date.
Yep.
I feel like the other part, I guess, of the podcast is who breaks up with who and why. And I feel like she would be the one to dump
Obviously,
him.
She dumps him.
Yeah,
No
she's
doubt.
gonna be like, I never see you.
Yeah.
You suck at communicating.
Yeah.
Even if he works on that, he's not gonna.
No.
Yeah.
He could do one of those like cliche guy things where he like wants to get out but just acts really shitty instead of like actually ending it.
Yeah. I feel like he is kind of obsessed with her though.
He is.
Which is why I do think if
Yes.
they do the crazy thing and move in
As they should.
really
Always
fast.
move in. Always.
You haul it. It's fun. Sometimes it works out.
And sometimes.
Many times it does not.
Yep.
But it's fun.
It's fun.
I don't know. I actually would never suggest it, but I do love to do it. So
Yes.
if they were to do that,
Yes.
I think that they could stay together for a while because they would see each other every day. But if they don't U-Haul it and if they are not living together by the end of the next production that they're on,
They're done.
They're done.
Do you think that if they went to work every day, separate jobs, and they came home every day seeing each other, that would be enough for them?
And they don't live together?
They do live together.
Oh,
You think that would be enough?
I don't think it's enough for forever.
Yeah.
But I think it's enough to make it last. That's where my 2 years came from. And that's just like a made up. I don't know that it's 2 specifically.
Yeah.
But I do feel like 2 is kind of like, and maybe this is just also me personally, but I feel like that's like, you've got like early stages of relationships where you're like, okay, is this going to last? And then I feel like 2 years is like where you're kind of at okay, we've done this for a long time.
Sure.
And if we're going to pass this like mark,
Yeah.
like that's a pretty long, you're like really committing to a long-term relationship.
Yeah. I haven't dated someone for 2 years in over 10 years, so I
Yeah.
don't remember what that's like.
But okay. Do you feel like that happens sooner or later? Or you just don't know?
I don't know. My brain's crazy. I could be like forever. Like what?
Yeah.
A mother to in? And I could be so wrong.
Well, everybody could feel, I mean, I also am a person who moves in with people right away. So I am the same way. But I
Yeah.
feel like this is probably very specific to me. Although I do think there's some truth to it. Like it may not be 2 years specifically, but I think there's somewhere within the like year, maybe 3, but 3 seems like a long time. There's like a point where you're like, you've passed the honeymoon phase.
Yes.
So you're no longer in that.
Yeah.
You're living your regular ass life.
Yeah.
And you hit this point where it's like, am I going to do this with you forever?
Yeah.
Or am I done and I can't see this lasting? And I
Yeah.
think that happens somewhere in that. So I picked 2 because I think that they will not pass that. I think
I don't
once
think
the
they can hit
honeymoon,
2.
yeah, once the honeymoon phase is done,
Yeah.
I think it will fizzle out
Yeah.
for them.
Yep. I agree.
So I went with 2,
Mm-hmm.
but this is just when my relationships tend to end. So maybe I'm really making this personal.
Yeah, I mean, mine ended earlier, which I think maybe earlier, but I feel like you could really get a lot of mileage out of like, I saved your life and you saved my first film. That could last you a good, what,
Yeah, 2 years.
6 months? I don't know. We get used to stuff pretty fast, you know?
Yeah. No, I think that the actual answer is that they stay together as long as they are working together. And if for some reason they move in, I think once the honeymoon phase is gone, I don't see them lasting past that.
They'd
I don't
have to
see
keep having
her lasting
projects.
past that.
Yep, I agree. And again, if anything hard happens to anyone, he's not going to handle it well.
No. I do think he's more into her than she is into him.
For sure. As it should be.
As it should
And
be.
that's what I love about it. That's why I like this relationship.
Yeah.
I really
And
want
he's-
it to work out.
I love him.
I
I'm
love
like,
them. I love them together.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him. Let us know what happens.
Yeah, let us know how it turns out.
David Leitch.
Yeah, if you could let us know.
We'd love to know.
How long do they stay together?
Yeah.
Come on the podcast.
Come on the podcast and tell us.
Ryan
tell us who is-
Gosling and Emily Blunt, please come on and tell us how long you stay together.
Yep.
Because you are your characters.
Yeah, they are. They are them. They do feel a lot like them, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were playing to type for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we did it.
We did it right.
Yeah. So, wait, what did we agree? That our final verdict is...
I think I'm pretty similar to what I said before, which is like, I don't think it lasts that much longer than a year if they don't work together. If they work together, I think it could last as long as they keep working together.
Yeah.
I think that could go on a long, long, long time.
That's very true. But his career has an expiration date.
Yeah.
Unless he becomes a cameraman, then writer director,
Then
and then
everything
they work
changes.
together.
If they can work together, I really think as long as they're working, they could be together forever.
Yes.
I believe that in my heart. I think if not,
Then it's done.
yeah.
All right. So I think the final verdict is let's go with like a year-ish, but it's really contingent on work.
Yes. I'll give it close to 2 years.
Ooh.
Yeah. Just for you. A little treat.
Wow.
I know.
I think I was wrong, but I appreciate you.
Yeah. Did we do it?
Yeah, do we have to do this? I don't remember how we ended the last one. That's it. Thank you so much for listening and or watching. Let us know what movie we should do next.
This has been
Help
When-
us out.
Okay, no.
This has been Help Us. Help us. Oh God. Please help us.
Help us. This has been
When Harry.
Dumb Sally.
Woo!